James Gunn has moved from the MCU to the DCU. The biggest fault with the MCU's last episodes is they don't land. Has he landed with Peacemaker? Let's find out together, shall we? Welcome to the With Mates podcast! What's happening, troops, and welcome back to the With Mates podcast. My name is Andrew Grayson, your graceful host as ever. And we're back, of course, with the finale, the finito, the last dance of Peacemaker Season 2. And joining me, as he has done every week for this wonderful series, he is the smacky one, Polly Smack. Paul Sterrett.
I don't want it to end. Or do I?
You tell me. Well, you have to tell. It's the whole point of the fucking podcast. And he is the last minute hero. He comes in to let you know in the last minute what he thought of the series as an entirety and what he thought of the finale. He is the fearless leader. He is Craig Andrew Mooney.
And also what my favourite piece is. We need to establish that because, you know, you guys got your chance to explain what your favourite piece was. I think I need to as well. So
what did I say my favourite piece was?
Too.
Was it egg?
A Glock?
No, it was egg.
Yeah, there was egg. It was egg and there was something to do with egg.
With quavers. Tell you.
Yes.
More of a Glock.
No.
A Glock guy.
No, I'm not American. I don't do guns. We're not political. Anyway, how are we? It's been another week, Paul. Anything fun, anything exciting happened?
It's been a week. You know, just adult drudgery.
It's fucking shit, innit?
You know, yeah, it is just the crushing weight of life as you're trying to put one foot in front of the other. You know, that kind of stuff. And in between, I'm trying to watch Peacemaker and just hoping it's the best show it can possibly be to take my mind off of it.
Craig, anything exciting happening with you?
Well, I mean, it already will have happened by the time this is aired, unless we air it early, who knows. But I am this weekend going to be at Scotland Comic Con.
Craig's subtle dig, like, if Andrew can get it edited and out quick enough.
Just,
if Andrew does his fucking job.
Makes sense. Just so what I say makes sense, Andrew. You could put it out, you know, it's up to you. But yeah. So I've got Scotland Comic Con this weekend, which is the 11th and 12th of October at time of recording. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I went to set up today. I'm there selling all the lovely Etienneverse stuff and also my book, The Rebel of Time, as well. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Lots of people coming in, and we're excited to meet everybody and share all we've got going on in the Etienneverse.
Very nice, very good. Fuck all's happened to me. I went and seen a film. Went and seen Smash Machine, decent wee flick. Rocks.
Was it smashing?
It was smashing. It was rather smashing. It's probably the best I've seen The Rock act at certain points. Some really good scenes. Surprisingly enough, I would recommend it if you're into like UFC and stuff. If you're into MMA, it's really good. Ryan Bader's in it, who used to be like, he was a fan favorite of mine. I used to really like Ryan Bader when he was in the UFC. He's a decent actor. Like he's obviously like a fighter, but like I was going, he's done a fucking really decent job there. He's not going to win any Oscars, but I was like, good job, mate. Emily Blunt's great.
That man's went to an acting class.
Or two, mate. Or two. But yeah, if you're into like MMA, if you're into stuff like that, I think it's definitely worth watching. It's quite long, but it's a good wee flick. But other than that, Nanty. So let's get to the main event. Let's get to the season finale of Peacemaker. So if you're new to the podcast, now is the time where I'm going to give you the rundown of how this podcast works. First of all, thanks for coming and thanks for watching. Second of all, don't be a dick. Hit the subscribe button. We are so close to 100 subscribers. Get us to 100 subscribers by the end of the month, and we will give you a lovely little surprise on Halloween. We've got a lovely wee video planned for Halloween for you gorgeous viewers and you gorgeous listeners. So yeah, hit the subscribe button. But the way this podcast works, we will give our top thoughts, our overall views of the finale, and we will also be talking in a grander scale of what's happened over the full series, and then we will give you a big spoiler warning, and we will get into full detail, full spoiler thoughts on what we thought of this week's episode and the series overall. So let's start off with Craig, because Craig, we don't really know where you're sitting in terms of the series as a whole. Have you enjoyed the series as a whole? What have your thoughts been? Obviously no spoilers, and what did you think of the finale? Did it land? Did it not? How do you feel?
Well, Peacemaker is a very interesting show for me because this happened with season 1 as well, where I just had no impetus to watch it at all. So like when season 1 came around, I was like, well, that seems interesting. I might take a look at that, but then forgot about it for like a month, and then suddenly binged the whole season when it came out. And then it was kind of similar for season 2, to be honest with you, because I was kind of like, oh, it's coming back, cool, yeah. And then I was like, oh, I'll watch that. But if it, as you guys know, I was obviously quite busy during the last like month and a half, and I just
You're always
didn't.
busy. Why?
I know,
Month
but
and a
even
half,
more.
you're always busy.
Even more so this last month and a half. But like, so I just had no like time to watch it, and then you guys were doing the podcast, and I was like, oh, I need to keep up so I can keep up with the podcast, and maybe and then I can jump on, and it just didn't happen. And then I started watching it, and I watched, I think, the first 5 episodes in one night.
Nice.
So, and it happened with season 1 as well. I just, once I'm in it, I'm in it. I really enjoy it. I really, really enjoy this show. I think it's really funny. I love James Gunn's humor. I always have since his early days. And I think John Cena does a great job in this show. I think the whole ensemble cast as well are fantastic. They're all expertly cast. I like all of them individually, which is hard to do in a piece like this. And I'm back. But the show itself, I think, has done a really good job of setting up and keeping this new DCU going after Superman, which was hard to do because they always had to retcon the whole thing and make sure it was now part of this new universe. I think that was done pretty well, to be honest with you. In terms of the finale, and I'm looking forward to seeing whether this is a hot take or not.
Go on.
I didn't like the finale. And I mean, I didn't like the finale at all. I much preferred episode 6 and 7. I thought they were really, really strong episodes. I agree with all your thoughts. I've been listening along, guys. I listen along with the podcast when I'm not on it. So I'm one of those viewers on that little bit at the bottom of the video. So I agreed with your thoughts on those 2 episodes. I thought they were very, very strong. I loved especially episode 6 and 7 of this season. This episode for me, it felt like a series finale that then became a season finale, but at the same time it also felt like a penultimate episode rather than a season finale. So it was it just wasn't right for me, and I liked the episode if it wasn't supposed to be the season finale, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my kind of overall kind of thoughts without giving anything away.
Fair. Polly Smack, you have been oddly positive about this series. You've been fairly positive. I'm now starting to think, mate, I think I've just gave you a bad rap. I feel as if it might be Craig and young Joseph that is a bad influence on you, because when it's just me and you one-on-one, you're absolutely such a pleasant young man to talk things about. He's not been negative at all.
Shocking.
In some senses, but for the most part. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you, Craig. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Joseph, but it just seems to be when all 4 of those boys are playing together and talking about films and stuff, it just brings out the worst in Polly Smack. But if you get that nice young man sat by himself...
Gaslighting you. He's gaslighting you, Andrew.
The yin and the yang was off balance. It was just me and Andrew. It was more imbalanced, But
he just needs some personal attention. He just needs that bit of care.
Yeah, that's it.
And that bit.
He's just looking for attention. That's what it is.
He just needs
he's acting out.
Focused attention on him. So we're going to give you all our attention right now, Paul. What do you think? Like, obviously, as I say, we've been fairly positive about the series as a whole. What did you think of the finale? Positive, negative, not bothered? Like, where did you sit?
I think, Craig, you've almost nailed it on the head, but I don't think this is a sort of penultimate episode feel. I think this is a middle of the season, let's bridge this episode to the next episode. Like, we've got 2 really cool episodes, like say episode 2 and episode 4. But episode 3, we need to like bridge them, like, and do a lot of little to no stuff. That's what I think this episode was, like a mid-season filler episode as a finale, is my thoughts
Fair.
on this. It's very little to anything interesting happened. We finally figured out what happened on certain events,
Yep.
which were not really as interesting or as dramatic as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
And I guess the very best bit of the episode was like literally the last 2 minutes or so, and then that was it. And really, for me, it was like none of the story beats I feel like we were building up to were, they were just like, we've built up, and that's your lot.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of take what you said, and I'm going to take what Craig said, and I'm going to go, yeah, you nearly hit the nail on the head. I don't think it's a middle of the road. I don't think it's a penultimate. I don't think it knows what it wants to be at all, because there are mid-season feels about it. There are penultimate things about it. There's also episode 1 of season 2 about it. Like, the ending, the last 2 minutes annoyed me more, because I'm like, well, this is just the biggest fuck you for the season, because nothing's resolved. We didn't get anything resolved. Don't get me wrong, there's some really nice moments. There's a really, really powerful and really good scene that I loved. Paul, you know, and Craig, you'll know because you listened, and all you lovely viewers will know because you've watched it as well. I love Vigilante. What I got from Vigilante, I adored. There was some nice eagly moments. There was some nice comedy in it. There was the stuff at the beginning was quite funny. But for a Peacemaker finale, Peacemaker was fucking hardly in it. And I was like, the conflict that I was waiting to happen between a certain couple of characters never really surfaced. And ultimately it kind of, and again, look, Marvel, I kind of started this podcast with, Marvel didn't, like, to me, this is Marvel. This is you going, we've got something else coming, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't really fucking so I've seen people online where they're like, oh, just because there's not cameos and there's not this and not that, and I'm going, yeah, but there isn't really much at all. At least if there was cameos, you got, that's something. Like, I don't think you need, like, but again, Penguin done it perfectly. There was no cameos in Penguin, but Penguin had to,
every episode.
Craig,
every episode,
elite. There was a point where Peacemaker, I think I might even said it on the podcast, where I was like, this might be up there with Penguin. It's not. Penguin's ridiculously far ahead. But
yeah, no, Penguin definitely much better.
It's difficult because I've actually really enjoyed this series as a whole, and I've really enjoyed the characters and the stories that they were telling, but it just felt like this was like, I was like, what I didn't even feel like an ending to the show. It just felt like it was like almost trying to squeeze in the multiverse stuff and stuff that got teased last week didn't really get brought up this week. And yeah, look, I'm just having a moan, and I apologise for that because I don't like being negative and stuff like that. And I'm going to watch season 3, and I'm going to watch whatever movies.
Let it all
No. We don't encourage this on the With Mates podcast.
You don't need to apologise here.
We want positivity, and again, I am going to gush over the things I really enjoyed about this week's episode. However, as a finale, I was just like, I felt kind of let down. I felt as if I was like, that's a shame, because we've had 2 really good episodes, and this ending kind of feels a bit flat. There's some nice positives in it, but for the most part, and again, I do not like doing a podcast on a season finale that I should be coming in going, it's fucking great, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, it was fine. But yeah, that we'll talk about it in more detail when we get to spoilers, and obviously we'll kind of talk about the series as a whole and where we think it is leading to, because there are some exciting stuff, and it is stuff that we can kind of fan cast and theorize about and stuff like that. But now's the time for your spoiler warning. If you have yet to watch the season finale, episode 8, which is lovely, called Phil Nelson. You ever went?
Wrestling move.
It's a wrestling move, and it's also a Simpsons character. So we're a fan with both of those things. If you've not yet watched this week's episode, Phil Nelson of Peacemaker, and if you've not watched the full series, now's the time to pause the podcast, head on over to HBO Max or Sky Max or wherever you watch the show, and then come on back to YouTube and see us three guys dissect this like a lovely, beautiful little wide-eyed alien that wants to chew our faces open. So, let's get into spoilers. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the bad, get the bad stuff out of the way, and then start talking about the good?
So most of the podcast and then a good couple of minutes at the end.
No, he's back. There he is.
There is lots.
Maybe it is my presence. Maybe it is me, Andrew. Yeah. This is the most negative he's been this whole time.
I know.
Right, let's this episode. What can I say?
We'll go through it then. We'll go through it because again, I did say like a negative for me was there was a lack of Peacemaker. There was a lack of John Cena. There was a lack of that character. However, the stuff that we did get right. So we see it starts off and we see. There's a point, it's in the trailer where Cena's, I always do that, man, fucking Peacemaker, Chris is in jail, and he's like, oh, I don't want to talk to them. And then it flashes forward to, it starts with a flashback when they're on the boat, and it's a lovely wee scene between the two of them. Paul, did you enjoy the romance of this episode? Surely that's a positive for you.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'm happy in a way to see Hardcore's walls finally tumble down.
Hardcore.
Not quite.
This has been bugging me for the entire fucking season. It's hardcore. Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. Carry on. Sorry.
It's not hardcore. It's hardcore.
Okay, yeah, I'm wrong as well.
Fuck you and your bugs, Mooney. There's no D's.
I'm happy to see some of those emotional walls come down a little bit and that progress. But see, to be honest, like see all the flashback stuff,
yeah,
and whatnot. I was expecting this to have been like this big whole deal that things got really awkward between them.
Yeah.
I was expecting it not to be too like prudish or anything, but I was expecting more than a frickin' kiss.
Yeah.
Come on, like what? They had one kiss and she like runs off, and so she's like, "No, stay away from me."
This is the funny thing to me. No, and again, I get it. Look, James Gunn is married to the wonderful Jennifer Holland, right? So again, I get you might not want to put that scene in. And that's more than likely, definitely not the reason they done it. However, we are supposed to believe that Chris was willing to leave everything behind and move to a new universe and not see his friends and all that stuff because a girl kissed him and wouldn't admit that it was a kiss. Like,
she walked off that boat, Andrew.
Yeah.
She walked off the boat.
Again, I'm not gonna like fucking hang on that shit, but I was just like, seems a bit silly. But yeah, so we keeps
bringing it up. When you think about the rest of the season, it keeps bringing it up.
Mate, see if I'm hardcore, right? And I've winched somebody, and he's like, but did it mean it? But did it really mean? No, mate, grow up. It's a fucking kiss. Shut up.
This is what I'm saying, though. It's like, see, when we compare Peacemaker from Suicide Squad to now, I'm like, come on. Again,
I get it though, because there is a scene that kind of backs up the point I'm about to make just now, but we'll talk about it a wee bit later. He is a very changed character. Yes, Craig, did you smell a fart?
Yeah, but not that. I've just read on IMDb that Eagly is played by D. Bradley Baker. The fuck?
Really?
As in D. Bradley Baker, who is like a famous voice actor. Like he was Klaus in he's in Clone Wars. He was Klaus in American Dad.
Yeah.
Like but he's playing Eagly. There's a voice actor for Eagly.
Yeah, but have you not seen James Gunn does some weird shit? Have you not seen he usually uses actors? So fucking what's his name? The guy that plays Economos in this did the mocap for King Shark. His brother did the mocap for Rocket. So it wouldn't surprise me if this guy had like a green screen suit on and done like the hugs and the like a stand-in for that, because James Gunn's very, very method with that kind of shit, man. It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a
Sorry,
scene later
carry
on.
on.
Methods.
Yeah.
That's one word for it.
Yeah, there's a scene later on where we see, like, he is a very different person from who he was in the Suicide Squad, and I think that's what the series does really well as a whole. Like, we do see that transition from the guy that was the mission is everything, that doesn't, like, you just do what you're told kind of thing, to this being, like, especially when we get to the end of this, where it's like, no, when you make your choices and you are who you are, you're a really good person and stuff like that. But I just felt as if we didn't really get a lot of that. There was just so much other stuff going on that we didn't really get to focus on Peacemaker and his character and all that kind of stuff. So, like, we got the flashback, we then get the music. How actually, a question to Craig, how do you feel about the intro song?
It grew on me as the season went on, but I think that's because of, like, I kind of got used to it rather than the fact that I actually enjoyed it more. I think season one was better, 100%.
Yeah, I'm very much the same, because even when it came on, the na 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 na, I do sing along with that. Yeah. I do sing along with that. It's just, it's not. Do you really want to taste it? It's so much better. But yeah, so we got that, and then so the whole multiverse thing, Paul. We know you're not a fan of multiverse in general. Did you enjoy?
Me no like a multiverse.
Well, this episode certainly was not for you then. Did you enjoy any of the stuff with the doors?
I mean, I would hardly. It's not as if just the concept alone of multiverse I hate. It's more just like the just sheer stupid, baffling way in which people utilize it is like. So this wasn't so bad because it was just people opening doors. I don't know why the multiverse is a series of doors. I don't know what. I want to know what that place is. Why it's just a series of doors. But
yeah, where was that explanation? Where's that plot thread?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
that's why that annoyed me the most, actually.
I think the only thing that we got on that was the
aliens.
No, the only thing we got was this is bad. The specky guy for Superman.
Ooh.
See the guy with the bowl cut?
Yeah, I know who
Do you know what
you
I'm
mean.
talking about?
The Luthor guy.
Yeah, Luthor's right hand man. So he kind of says, "Oh," so there's a line. It's almost a throwaway line where he goes, "Oh, how is everything?" He goes, "Everything's stable." He's like, this tech's like far beyond anything that we've ever done. So I think that kind of gave you a look in that Luthor is obviously the smartest man alive and very well advanced in comparison to other people, but he's not, the technology's not there. So I think obviously when he gets his hands on this stuff, he'll be able to figure out how to use it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they didn't really address that. I did like there was obviously a lot like yeah, but before that, my second favorite character after Vigilante, of course, is Tim Meadows' Langston Fleury, where he was like walking through, telling the story about how his pal vomited on a stripper and stuff like that. I was just like, yeah, I'm all for this guy. Like, keep him around, keep him going.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, me too. Because I didn't think he was going to make it when they were in the Candyland and the cute aliens started. And again, I am always a sucker for, oh, hello, cutie, and then it's a ferocious, like, fucking flesh-eating whatever.
Yeah.
Brutal death for the guy. I can't remember his nickname. Not Titties, the other guy. Agent Klein is his actual name. Brandon Sanley that plays it. Agent Klein. Brutal death. Very fun. Loved the fact that it's like when you killed them, it was like sparkles that come out and stuff like that. Very cool concept and stuff. But it was just a fun wee thing. Other doors, there was like a black hole. There was
I was gonna bring that up.
Okay,
that's 100%. I can already tell. Famous Superman trope, the Phantom Zone. One of these is definitely the Phantom Zone. That's like it's.
Well, here's a question.
Yeah,
that's just kind of made it to me. Is that the one in Superman?
That's the one where, like, seeing the classic ones, and they get thrown into like the square.
Yeah.
It's like,
But what I'm saying is, there is a black hole in Superman, and that's where Bizarro ends up.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what that is. Yeah.
do you think that is? So that's a way that we go, right, maybe that's how we get Ultraman or Bizarro or however you want to call him to come back.
Zod,
yeah, different ways. So what else? We had the skull one, which again, it's a really quick, really funny joke where they open it, it's just a screaming skull, and they're just like, no, we're not going in there. But the whole point of that, like, I get the point. So that there was the whole kind of montage where it was just death after death after death after death, and it's just Rick Flag Sr. pure love and life, and he's like, oh, it's all going well, but we don't really know what he's doing, and we don't know why he's doing it, and like, I just felt everything was just so, I don't know, like, there was no focus. Yeah, there was no focus on what we were doing and why we were doing it, and again, if it leads to, look, Craig, you kind of said about how, like, we obviously try and watch. I mean, I watch everything superhero. If there's a new superhero series, I'm going to watch it, and I'll watch it week to week, or I will binge it when it comes out. The vast majority of people that probably seen Superman won't watch Peacemaker. So in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't really matter in terms of continuity, in terms of where the story's going. People won't really be bothered. But for people like us, I like this thing. I like watching, going, I watch Peacemaker, so I know this wee extra bit of information you don't know about that character, but I know about that character. I like that. But to me, it just felt very ambiguous and there was like a lack of direction as to why we were showing this stuff and what the motives were for Rick Flag, and then you kind of get it at the end, but I'm still kind of like, yeah, but that doesn't really explain the change in why he's doing this.
I feel like as well, they went on a weird path where I'm like, it felt like 100% like Rick Flag was good guy, but you know, Peacemaker killed his son, and now he's on a revenge path, and he'll probably be easily clouded by this person in his ear.
Yeah,
but it just seems cyborg lady. But they've done like a complete
the opposite
reverse. Yeah, where it's like, no, like he's lost his mind, and now I'm the good guy. I was like, because I was 100% certain this lady was like working for Luthor. And it's like completely went on its head. Like,
Can I just kind of show how little interest I had in this bit? While you were talking about that bit, my ADHD mind wandered, and I started to look at Paul and think, if Paul shaved and he like did his hair in a bowl cut with those glasses, he'd look like the guy from Superman and Peacemaker. The guy.
Yeah.
He would?
I feel personally attacked.
I think if he did his hair like the other character and put on a lot of weight, he could look like Economos. Like a lot of weight. You're very skinny, Paul.
Listeners, watchers, who do you think Paul looks like? Let us know in the
that's
comments.
The poll. Specky Luthor friend or Economos? Put it in the answers below. But yeah, so that stuff, look, it was fine. It was fine and fun, and that's fine and fun for an episode 3 or an episode 6. But ultimately, for a Peacemaker finale where I'm like, could this not could you not have did this like in the last episode and then gave us episode 7 as the finale?
I said, this is a very interesting episode. It's just not a finale. Like the door stuff, the going through, seeing what's out there, working out why he's doing it. Like that's all fun. And then to have, for example, Peacemaker thrown in there at the end, that's great. Yeah. But we need another episode of them like trying to get him back. I know that probably will end up being what season 3 is, but we need more there. That should have been what the kind of the season was, because then you then get him back. You then him and Rick Flag go at it. Rick Flag end up getting maybe sent through the door or something, like shit like that. But I don't know. I don't
know as well as because look, we're heading to a point. Excuse me. We're heading to a point where we're going to have another Superman movie, and we've got Superman and Lex Luthor, and that's 2 of the big ones, and there's potentially Brainiac's going to be the villain. That's another big fucking that's another rivalry, and Batman's going to be in it soon, and we don't know who Batman's villain's going to be, and all that. So Rick Flag Senior versus Peacemaker isn't very high on the list, but I would like to see it. But I'm now at a point where I'm like, have you missed the moment for that? Have you missed the time to pull the trigger on that? Because again, what's the next thing that we know we're getting is Supergirl. So then that's in the back of our mind. We've been confirmed that that Peacemaker's, the next time we see Peacemaker, it's not going to be in a Peacemaker thing. So then how's that going to work out and stuff? And again, I'm interested
2-3 years then.
Yeah, so like to me, I'm going, I don't know where it's like. I just feel kind of like,
because they could be working themselves really into a corner with this as well, because if Peacemaker's return is in, say, Supergirl or another film, it's doing a Mandalorian Boba Fett thing where Grogu's back. Oh, you didn't watch Boba Fett? Then you don't know Grogu's back. And then you're like, what if it comes out?
But
you know what I mean? It could be one of those.
But as far as that goes, then though, this is where again we're going where the general public probably won't watch this and they don't really care about that stuff. They don't know John Cena's in this, or John Cena, fucking hell, Peacemaker. They don't know Peacemaker's in another dimension and stuff. Like they don't know that.
So if that becomes a plot point, then that's an issue.
Like, I don't think so. Because again, on you go.
No, I was just going to say, this is what, again, dare I say, a fantasy booking, the usual nonsense. But you know what I mean? Like, if I was pitching this end of the season here of what we would be looking for in terms of the kind of like the arc of the season that we've had, maybe you talked about this when I zoned out. Maybe you talked about it. When I started looking at Paul's glasses, maybe you did talk about this. But like when, like for example, the whole story of Rick Flag Senior this year was, you fucked over my son, you killed my son, I hate you. Now he's just found out that a multiverse exists. Now, if I was him in my head, I'd be going, then hang on, there's a universe out there where my son's alive. Why am I like so my thing would be, he should be doing what he was doing, as in doing the thing with Lex Luthor to try and find this planet so he could send all the metahumans there. But actually, what his character's true motivation should have been was, yeah, fine, I do want to do that, and I am going to do that, but I'm actually going to use this for another purpose as well, and that's to get my son back. And that's what I think, I thought that's where this was leading.
Does he know that?
But why would he not? Why did that not cross his mind? It's a multiverse.
But you don't know that, though.
The asinine part of this, though, is that we have had a Rick Flag Jr.
Yeah.
And they've not met.
But they don't. But this is my point, though, because he doesn't know that. Nobody's told him that. Nobody's told him that there was another son.
But if he knows, it doesn't have to be that Rick Flag. If he knows that a multiverse exists, therefore he knows there is a universe out there somewhere.
But you don't know that.
Where my son is alive.
Because the only thing he knows multiverse-wise is there's a Candyland with little gremlins. There's he doesn't know it. Do you know what I mean? You're just going on something like the way we look at it because of movies is multiverse means it's a different version of Iron Man, it's a different version of this, it's a different version of that. That's the way we look at it because that's the way it's told in films. So to me, I'm going, what he knows, because realistically, it's just Chris. Yeah, but it's only Chris that. Who's he asking?
Lex Luthor would know.
It's only Chris that knows.
Lex Luthor would know. Lex Luthor would have a theory on the fact of the multiverse.
He would have a theory, but he doesn't know.
But he's the smartest man alive, even as Rick Flag says.
It is almost fantasy booking where you're going, oh, that should be his motivation. His motivation is obviously being skewed into, like, there is a scene where he's like, and I think this was it Serenity he calls it? I think that is a comic book line in DC, so that it's kind of somewhat based on. So it's now like, oh, this is the jail, we're sending all the metahumans away because fuck that. That's where he kind of sits now, and it's in a sense that Lex Luthor's somewhat manipulated him into that's now his mindset. He was very much against Lex Luthor at the start of this and stuff, and now he's on Lex's side and stuff, and like he used the line, it was like, oh, he's the smartest man in the world, so why shouldn't we use his brain to protect us and stuff. And I was like, yeah, again, you're making what you believe to be the right choice, but you're being played by someone that's obviously a lot smarter than you, that's manipulating you and stuff like that. I don't really have a problem with him not trying to find his son. Ultimately, I just kind of feel as if we've been cheated of a Peacemaker. Like, I don't feel as if we got Peacemaker's finale. I feel as if it's been like a setup to what's to come. And again, I'm excited for what's to come, but it was very much a character this episode was very much a character-based one. We got to see moments of characters. We got to see stuff like there's a lovely scene between the full group, but there was a scene with Adebayo and her partner, and I'm like, who cares? Like,
I thought you were going to talk of that as a scene that you liked. I thought because you mentioned a scene.
It was a good scene. But, good scene, good acting.
Good scene.
Good acting.
But ultimately...
Yeah, you're right.
Why
You're
is
right.
it there?
Is that necessary?
Right.
Look, I get it. Look, if in the grand scheme of things, if Adebayo is a character that we're going all in on, okay, cool, it shows her growth. She's willing to give up this person that she loves and wants to be with because she can't be with them and wants to go and do this thing with her friends and that could be dangerous, right? Cool. But ultimately, this show's called Peacemaker, and we didn't get anything really other than the scene that I was talking about was the one where, again, utterly fantastic acting from Danielle Brooks, who plays Adebayo, when she's like, no, you're such a good person. The reason you did this was because that person, your dad, was in your ear. You killed your brother because your dad told you. You killed Rick Flag Jr. because what's her name told you?
Waller.
Amanda Waller, Amanda Waller told you, and you didn't truly believe the right thing to do was go to that other universe because someone kissed you and that it didn't mean anything to them. Like, so dumb. But yeah, like that was a very nice scene, and there was a lovely moment as well where she's like, you give me, you make me believe in magic. A funny callback. She's like, I seen an eagle hug somebody. Like, you are a wonderful person. And a lovely moment with Vigilante where he's like, yeah, you're my best friend. I don't want to do anything fun unless you're there. And again, I love the humor where she's like, yeah, and Economos is a fucking coward, and he's stood up for you. And he's like, wow, thanks, just slip that in there. And again, a nice moment with Harcourt saying, yeah, you mean something to me, but I'm going, ultimately, we've had a fucking hour episode, and you've done this in the last 5 fucking minutes.
I was looking at the runtime of this episode.
Yeah,
and
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. I was checking it constantly.
And I was like, this is the most we've had Peacemaker in this episode. And it's a sit-down hug. Oh, we all love you. Don't go anywhere, please. And I'm like, this is all well and good, but I'm kind of wanting a bit more Peacemaker action, like fighting, you know, like
but we got teased
what's
his
going on here?
Again, you
again, his brother,
you tease his brother, and you tease not even just his brother. You tease that Harcourt was like, I need to kill you so you can't come after him. Nothing, not even a fucking after credit scene where it's like, oh, he's got another door that we didn't know about. Nothing to kind of go, oh, we've got that to look forward to. What we get left on is Rick Flag Sr. is working with Lex and has dumped Peacemaker in this fucking Serenity place, and there's a dinosaur. I think it's
Jurassic Park. I think he's been dumped in Jurassic Park.
That's what he's doing. He's rebooting Jurassic Park. I fucking love it. But yeah, to me, there was a nice moment as well. I loved the stuff with Adebayo and Vigilante where she's like, she's like, oh, we should use your money and we should do that. And he's like, nah, this is blood money. We're not doing that. She's like, oh, I guess I'm a better friend to Chris than you. And he's like, no, I'm his best friend.
Hang on, though. Now now for me, that wasn't a flippant scene. That wasn't a throwaway scene. That for me was her first indication of, oh, that's Amanda Waller's daughter. Yeah, that's Amanda Waller's daughter right there. And I think that's a fun wee thing that we can maybe play around with maybe next season, especially if she's going to be the one in charge of, I think it's Checkmate, is that what they called it?
Yeah, Checkmate, so I've literally just looked that up there. So Checkmate is a fictional covert operations agency appearing in American comics, published by DC. It's an anti-hero team, first appeared in Action Comics, blah, 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 blah. So Checkmate is essentially S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a new S.H.I.E.L.D. The other thing that annoyed me, and this is just a general note for everybody that makes, like, Craig, you're a writer. See this fucking Lord of the Rings false finish pish. There was at least 3 points I thought this thing ended and then something else happened and I'm like, what are we doing? It bugs me. So there was a moment where they all leave the hotel and it's slow motion and they all go their separate ways, and then we get the music and Chris kind of dances. I liked it and I thought that was the end, and then they move into Checkmate and then they all walk out and it's all, ooh, and then something else, and I'm just like, what are we doing? Fucking I felt the pacing was off. Look, ultimately it's like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's not a bad episode of television. It's fine. It just felt so out of place. It didn't feel like a finale.
Generous.
No, it's like, no, there's some good stuff in it. I liked the multiversal stuff. That was funny. A series is doing well when I popped when I seen titties at the end. See when they were putting Chris in the door, and I went, "Oh, it's titties! She's still alive!" And it's the best line in this whole thing where he's like, "Oh," and you're gonna call you
God,
titties.
there's still titties.
Best line in this whole fucking show. So I popped when I seen her. And I was like, "Yeah, that character's still alive." Really big tick for Peacemaker in that sense. But yeah, to me, it just felt out of place. It didn't feel as if it was a finale. It didn't feel as if we were getting anywhere. It did a cliffhanger, but like to me, I'm going, right, so Across the Spider-Verse did a cliffhanger so much better, where I'm like, no, I need the next part now. And then they made us wait 13 fucking years for the third part. But yeah, this one, it was just kind of like, I was watching it, I was like, yeah, there's some good stuff in here. It just doesn't feel like a finale. If you did this as episode, well, you couldn't do it as episode 6. If you did this as episode 6, apart from the very end, the last maybe 15-20 minutes, and gave me episode 7 as the finale, 7 felt more like a finale. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you could put some of this stuff that was happening throughout the series and then give us episode 7 as the finale, and then do the ending of this. I don't know if that works structurally.
It doesn't quite. It could work structurally if you swapped it around. So if you didn't have Chris's resolution, which is the kind of what they kind of rushed that, I think, in the finale. That was one of the negative points for me. I think that scene was great, but it was like, well, this is all we're getting, so we're just gonna tidy it up now. But the if you swapped it around and made it that Chris didn't get that resolution, and in fact it is a case of he's in prison, he's totally dejected and wants to be alone, and then he actually, not maybe half volunteers, half is pushed through that door. You know what I mean? And that's the end of the season, and then they're trying to go and get him back in season 3. That's the only way I would do it, swap it around. But yeah.
I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out why this episode was so under wraps by James Gunn.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I can think of from these 3 episodes is that there's some stuff that involves Nazis, and then there's
stuff that involves what? We're full spoilers.
Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
Are we not allowed to say that word?
Right to that.
Is this a thing?
No. Well, no.
Why?
Because we can say the words, but the algorithm.
I tick the box that it's not for children, and we're not glorifying them. We're just saying they are a thing. See this fucking planet.
so
we can talk about the past, right? We can say that this is a thing. This happened. It's a thing.
Oh no!
Fucking
Hey, I totally agree with you, mate. It's the algorithm that is the issue. It
fucking hate that word at all, man. Fucking that word should be banned. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, to me, it's not I don't think it's a bad episode of television. I just don't think it's a finale. And I'm looking at a lot of people that are like, so like I always go to X or Instagram and kind of try and see. And there's a lot of people being like, oh, if you didn't like this episode. What is it? Everyone's dunking on the Peacemaker finale. This comes from @DavidOpie. Everyone's dunking on the Peacemaker finale because not a lot happened, but I think it's ballsy to double down on the very moving and effective character work rather than just build up to another big CGI fight. Fans moan when it's predictable and they moan when it's different. Look, I've got no problem with it being different. I just felt as if it didn't feel like a finale to me. And I don't need a big fight. I don't need a big Christ, as I say. Penguin, it's a very different tone show, but that was character work that made sense.
Every episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. Every episode was above a 9.
That's so fucking episode. I need to rewatch that series, man. It's
what a fucking show.
The end of Penguin ended with a relationship that had been built up, and suddenly at the end there was a payoff
Yeah.
for that relationship. It wasn't like they jangled someone in front of, say, the antagonist, or like this person exists, and then just goes, oh yeah, that's nothing, that's gone. See this big part that was like a part of the Suicide Squad, and it's going to be a big part here because obviously it has to be. That's now gone. Yeah, that's not happening. I was expecting more with the Unsee world as well. Like we just got that was just completely gone. Like there was nothing.
So frustrating to me. I'm just like, just say the word, but like obviously we can't for whatever fucking dumb reason. Yeah, no. Look, I didn't mind the fact that we didn't go back to that world. I didn't mind that fact, but I was just like, yeah, you've kind of introduced something to me where I'm like, well, are we going to revisit that? And look, maybe James Gunn's just doing this different. Look, there's because again, you don't need to go the full hog where Marvel are like Hercules, and we're never going to see him again. Harry Styles, and we're never going to see him again. I don't need that. I don't need you being like, here's the villain, or like, because we were guessing like, oh, does Supergirl show up, or does Brainiac show up? I don't need that. But I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like, as much as the stuff that they gave me, I enjoyed. For the most part, it just didn't feel like a finale to me. It just didn't feel like an end of a series to me. And ultimately, where it ended. Again, I was somewhat underwhelmed. Where I was like, I should really get to the end of this and want to look forward to whatever's coming next. And a good example of that, if you watch the season The Boys, the latest season of The Boys wasn't that great, but it gave us an ending where it was like, right, I can't wait to see the next project or the next series. I can't wait. Like we maybe didn't get a 10 here, but they're definitely showing us that something's coming that's going to be big. Whereas with this one, I was like, you kind of teased that it kind of gave you a look at what is to come in the DCU, and I'm like, I guess, kind of, a wee bit, maybe. I don't know.
Like,
and with that,
I was surprised we didn't even get like a Supergirl mention. Never even mind an appearance.
But again,
something.
I don't really need that though. Like, to me, I'm going, right. So I'll put it to you this way: what did you take from this, and where do you think it's going? Like, what do you think? What do you think the overall plan is that we got teased here? It's obviously Serenity, but.
So the unfortunate thing is for the DCU is that there's a very, very obvious direction this is going in. Okay. The problem with that is that it is the same direction that Marvel are currently going in, because the DC comics, there's a very, very famous multiverse arc, which is Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is like one of the most famous like comic book arcs of all time. Even like probably up there with anything that Marvel's done, probably like is one of the most popular things out there. And it is a multiversal story where essentially it was a way of resetting the DC comics so that they could then start the continuity again. And it's something that was very controversial at the time, but something that ultimately I think has worked. But there, I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that. But essentially, what it does is it takes the multiverse, and like what Marvel's about to do, it condenses it back into one single Earth. There's one Earth, and that's it. There's no multiverse anymore. It's one universe. So I think what's going to happen is, I think what we're leading towards is that we're going to have all these different, versions of reality that will eventually implode on each other, and that's where ultimately I think James Gunn is going, because I think that's the thing that's not been done in live action yet. They kind of half started the Justice League arc with like. Steppenwolf and oh god, I can never remember his name. The fucking big ass guy in the chair.
Darkseid.
That's it. So they started that arc, which is not the same arc. So I think that he'll stay clear of that for now and try the Crisis on Infinite Earth. So I think that's where this is ultimately going to go in like 10 years' time. But it's all kind of this emerging stage at the minute, so I don't really know how they're going to kind of get there. But yeah, that's where I think it's ultimately going, I would say.
I kind of want. I think they will probably eventually do the story beats that they were setting up in this season next season. So I think you have to. I think you just have to get Rick Flag Jr. and Senior meeting. Like I cannot imagine they're not doing that.
But why wasn't it even like teased? Why wasn't like at the end of the episode someone got to go,
I think
we found another door.
I think you're putting a lot of stuff on a character that we don't really give a fuck about. Like,
it was.
I like Rick Flag.
Like,
I like Rick Flag Jr.
We've got
he's a big
Peacemaker
character.
The series, right? We've got Peacemaker the series. The thing he's known for from that film, other than being probably the best thing in it and the funniest and whatnot, is that he kills Rick Flag Jr., who was the main character in the first Suicide Squad. And
to me,
so like it's like a pivotal part of his story. So in order to just like jangle him, and he's like this timid cuck version.
Yeah, but that
and, it's like.
But to me, then
you have to do it.
I don't think you do though, because to me, I'm going, that stories came and went, and that was a fun wee cameo. That was a fun wee like, oh, this one's a bitch.
I don't think it's over.
I don't.
Keith is coming back. Keith is coming back.
No.
Not when you're doing flashbacks to the scene where he's murdering him. Like you.
But the reason they're doing that though is that's more for his and Harcourt's relationship than anything else, and to tell you why Rick Flag Senior is after him and stuff. Ultimately, Peacemaker's story is about his family. I'm not saying the Keith stuff's irrelevant. Keith's coming back. That's what I'm interested in. That's the fight I want to see. And for a while, I was interested in the Rick Flag Senior, but it seems like Rick Flag Senior's idea now is over with Lex. So I don't really I just think Rick Flag Jr. I could be wrong, and again, we're just guessing at this point. I still believe James Gunn knows what he's doing and has a plan and stuff.
Oh like that. Yeah, hey.
To me, just like. I think my overall thing is like, I don't really know where we're going after this. I don't really know what the plan is. I don't really mind that. I quite like going into movies, not like the thing that's killing me just now is every fucking rumour about Spider-Man. Who's in it, who the villain is, who's this, who's that. I seen something today where it was like, oh, Scorpion's going to be a really big part, but he's not the main villain because that main villain's not been announced yet. And I'm like, what do you mean yet? Don't fucking tell me. I don't want to know about these films. I want to go in and have a good fucking time and be surprised and stuff.
Cast is massive.
So, yeah, it's
massive.
Huge. It's. I've also seen rumours that Sony are apparently considering selling Spider-Man back to Marvel, which I would adore. Really like that.
Praise.
Make it happen.
Praise Thanos.
But yeah, so to me, like, looking at it, I'm looking at the reviews and stuff, and I completely forgot. James Gunn bigged this episode up, saying it might be one of the craziest things that he's ever done, and I was like, no.
Maybe this kind of finale is the craziest thing he's ever done. Maybe doing this kind of finale is what you meant.
Because he didn't go nuts.
You never know.
If you look at the IMDb, the episode last week, or the best episode was like a 9.2. This one's been rated a 7.2, which I kind of get. I'm kind of the same. I think it's like between a 6 and a 7. I think there's some really good stuff in the episode. I'm just like, it's not what I expected for a finale. It doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I wouldn't say it's a bad episode of television. I think it's a good episode of television. I think it's a bad episode or a bad finale for a season that I expected more.
Just need more payoff for this season. Like, because I don't mind there being things that pay off in the finale of the third season, right? I don't mind that. I am a patient man, but we need some kind of conclusion to this season. Like, there needs to be what made this season. What made season two like season two? Like, what was the big arc? And it's kind of just for me falling on a flat note, and I'm like, so I don't want it to just be Season 1 was its own thing. Yeah. And then Season 2 was basically a part 1 to Season 3. Like, Season 2 should still be its own thing.
But that's
me, at the moment, it's not feeling like that.
That's the Marvel curse. I'm telling you, it's very rare. Like, how many fucking Marvel series have we had? And ultimately, you go, the finale was a bit meh. Like, you're talking maybe on one hand, you can count how many were good. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm still obviously like in the DCU. I'm still excited for the stuff that is to come. And as I say, like, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this season. Thought it's some of John Cena's best work. Loved Vigilante character. We got a hug. We got another hug or like an arm over Economos for the Eagly. That made me pop. Eagly, another great character. So yeah, like overall, I still think it's a good season. I think it's still a good series, but I just it didn't live up to expectation for the finale, which is a shame. But I would still recommend people watch it if you enjoy James Gunn's kind of tone and sense of humor, and you enjoyed the Suicide Squad and the first season. It's definitely worth a watch. But yeah, let us know in the comment section what you thought of this season of Peacemaker. Are we completely wrong? Did you love the finale? Let us know who your favourite character is and why it's Vigilante. If it's anyone else, you're wrong. Who's your favourite character?
Correct.
Craig?
Vigilante.
Correct. Paul?
Peacemaker? Is that
That's
a
fair.
cop-out
Yeah,
answer?
no, it's not a cop out. If that's
Hey, we
it's
could accept
wrong,
Peacemaker. We could accept
It's
Eagly.
wrong, because
Eagly would be
Vigilante
okay.
is the best. Yeah, Eagly's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Even agent nicknames as well. Like, I would accept that because he was a fucking great addition this season.
That scene
He
between
was
him
great.
and Vigilante was great. Like, I can't wait
Oh
for more of
yeah,
that.
when he's
More-
talking about the spiders. Vigilante's the best, man. Honest to God. But as I say, get in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of this series. Let us know your guesses, where you think this is going to go, performances, anything about this series that stood out. Put it in the comment section. We will interact and tell you our thoughts on that and on your opinions. But that is all for Peacemaker. Yes, Craig.
Ratings. Sorry. Ratings.
Well, you want to give it a rating? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Do we not used to do
Hit
it?
it up. We
for,
can
for
do
a
that.
season?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10.
Nice. Paul?
That finale's left a bit of a sour taste.
That's the
in my
thing.
mouth.
Mate, it's so difficult to give it a good score after a bad finale.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 is amazing in our rank. Just so
I think I'm going to stick with it.
What's a 6
Overall.
or a 7?
6 is good, 7 is great.
I think I have given some really.
Remember
diabolical
episode 6 and 7 though.
Yeah.
Your rating is so fucked. Like, your scale is awful. Because I can remember we had an argument about stuff where you were like, you gave that a 9. I was like, yeah, but there's a bigger difference between a 9 and an 8 than what there is between a 6 and a 5. And you're like, your scale is awful.
Paul, Penguin is a 10. So base it off of that.
Penguin is a 10.
Okay. I think I might agree with that actually on Penguin. So
It's a 10. You're like, there's no
It's a 10.
argument. HBO at its best, man.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it a 7.
I will also give it a 7. As much as you're saying remember 6 and 7, remember 4 and 5. Like, the first 3 episodes were really good. 4 and 5 were a bit meh. 6 and 7 were great. And then the finale, like...
Maybe 7.5 then for me. Maybe 7.5.
Nah, you stick to your guns, mate. You said 8. Let us know your scores in the comments below. As I say, get your opinions in there. If you want to follow along with the podcast, we are at WithMatesPod on all social media platforms. You can follow Polly Smack at Stir It Story. You can follow Craig Andrew Mooney at Craig Andrew Mooney, and you can follow me at Andalf the Grey on all social media platforms. But I don't want you follow the podcast, hit subscribe. We've got plenty to come. We've got a lovely wee Halloween episode that's coming out for you. We might be heading back to the old ranked series, but I won't tell you what we'll be ranking. We'll have an update very, very soon about the fantasy movie draft.
Fuck.
You are for it, Mooney. When we get in person, you are for it. We will also obviously be doing the next year's draft at the start of the year. We've still got some fun movies coming out. We're going to be doing a lot more on social media in terms of maybe mini reviews. As I say, like, we're not going to do a full review for Smashing Machine, but I might do a wee mini review on the social media channel. There's quite a lot of films coming out this month that I'm not super excited for, but I'm very intrigued about. There's the Scottish movie I Swear. There's Good Fortune that's getting quite good reviews, which I'm surprised at. I didn't think that was going to get good reviews.
Excited.
Tron isn't getting great reviews, so I don't think I'm going to go see that. But yeah, there's plenty to come on the With Mates podcast. So if you want to follow along, make sure you've hit that subscribe button. And if you're loving what we're doing, hit the notification bell and you'll get a wee notification whenever we get an episode up. But that is all for this week. We will see you next time. Latest on the main J.
Julian.